What's up, guys? My name is Daniel McKenna, and today you get to sit down with Clay Clark and Caleb Taylor, and we're talking about the power of why. This training is all about showing you why it is so important for you to know what your why is, and then we're going to show you how to clearly and effectively establish what your why is. Really good stuff here. Let's get after it.
Clay, my Brostradamus, how are you, my friend?
Dude, I am feeling it like a petting zoo right now.
Whoa.
Just feeling it like...
You're feeling it, huh? But you're also kind of feeling it. You've got a little back issue today?
Yeah, back hurts. Pulled my back. I feel like I might have had a partial kind of a...
Whoa.
I feel like I dislocated my spine.
I've heard that is something you always want to avoid if
Dislocate
you
your shoulder, that's nothing.
Well, that's
dislocate your
something.
spine.
I've done that, but I've never dislocated my spine.
Probably just in my sleep.
Yeah, that's not okay. Well,
I like danger.
I'll let you know if we need to call a timeout, and I'll just jump on your back and we'll crack it. But for now, let's just plunge on ahead. We're talking about the power of the why. Okay. The power of the why. And I don't know if you guys can see this. This is beautiful what you've done here. Little claymation drawings.
Yeah.
It's really motivated me to dive into this topic.
Okay, I'm ready to do it.
Power of the why. The size of your why will determine your attitude and the altitude at which you can fly. Okay? That's what we're talking about today. But Clay, why, I guess, as a broad perspective on this, why does this matter? Why does it matter to talk about the why?
Because what happens is if you go to any job right now, if you go to any job at all, and you're at that job, and you're bringing intensity to it, you're going to be far more successful than someone who's not doing it with intensity. So I'll give you an example, okay?
Okay.
These are kind of the big thoughts you have. Over here, you have somebody who's fighting with enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. Over here, you just have somebody who's just physically present.
Okay.
Over here, so again, two fighters go into a fight. They're boxers. One has enthusiasm, one's just physically present. Pretty much always the enthusiastic, the guy, he would win. Yeah. Basketball, you watch a basketball player who's very into it. The guy who's got the enthusiasm will usually beat the guy who's just physically present.
Okay.
People, for some reason, in business and in the office and in work don't do that. So you got one graphic designer who's enthusiastic, and he's really, really getting more done, achieving his goals. He's just a better designer. He's getting better. The person who's just physically present is not. So how do you bring in, where does enthusiasm come from?
Yeah.
I mean, where does enthusiasm, we've talked about this in a couple other episodes, but I want to hammer it. This word, theos, okay, that means God in Greek, okay? This is God. Well, in means it's like having God within you. But what I have found is that people who have a God-like, and I mean that in the most non-sacrilegious way possible, but they have a God-like level of enthusiasm, it's almost like God is in them. They truly understand why they're at work. They understand why they're at that job. They understand why they're there. People who understand why they're there just win. So what happens is...
And that's rare. I mean, that is... Forbes actually... Forbes had an article where they featured a Gallup poll recently that said 71% of all workers are not engaged or are actively disengaged. I don't know how you're... actively disengaged. But that's so rare for somebody to have this enthusiasm.
Well, I'll give you an example. I do speaking events all the time. And you and I go to those things.
Sure.
And we see people in the audience who are usually in the front, taking notes, wanting to be there. Those guys get a ton out of it. There's speakers that speak before me and after me. There's awesome workshop leaders that we've had the privilege to watch present. But there's people who just don't want to be there. But the people who want to be there and have decided that they're at that particular conference to learn something.
They know why they're there.
I mean, I had one guy who I talked to at that one we did in San Diego. And the gentleman comes up and he's like, hey, if I can pick up two things, just two nuggets, it's worth the $1,000 I spent to be here, because in his business is already making millions, and he knows if he can just learn a couple more things, it could change the trajectory of his business. So again, to get enthusiasm, you have to know your why, and you can't win without enthusiasm. So the next level, if you carry that over, that equals winning. But you've got to have the why. The why is that step one here. That leads to enthusiasm. This right here leads to winning, because you're like, when you're on fire, you can just contagious. You can create that enthusiasm wherever you go.
And then you've not only got to have the why, which is kind of the vision, but then you got to actually execute to make that a reality. I know Thomas Edison says vision without execution is just hallucination. And he's the guy that had the vision of creating a light bulb maybe, and actually executed it. And failed 10,000 times. I mean, he's a good guy to be speaking on that.
A lot of people don't realize, but Thomas Edison, if you think about the impact of that quote, because I'd like you to read it again in just a second, but the thing about Edison is that he is the man who invented the light bulb that some people say he stole it from Tesla.
Yeah.
But let's just say he made the light bulb.
Right.
He's also the first guy to do recorded sound.
Right. Video.
He did, first guy to do video.
Right.
So if you think about it, the one man did video, he did audio, and he did light. How different would our world be without video, audio, and light? I mean, this studio, if we turn the lights off and we weren't videoing and we didn't have any, it wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas Edison, we need to all be thankful for what he did. When you read his quote, you read it again, I just want you to marinate because I don't want to lose the importance of his quote.
Vision without execution is just hallucination. Vision without execution is just hallucination.
How many people before him came up with an idea, hey, would it be great if we could record audio or if we could, but he did it.
Yeah, and that was an interesting thought. You turn off the lights in here, you turn off the cameras, the episodes would be much shorter. You'd probably take a lot less from them if we had no audio, no cameras, and no lights.
It would be short, like when you're watching if you're somebody who you kind of are planning an elaborate sort of a long-winded sort of a playoff run, and you're going, I'm gonna plan to watch every game in the playoffs that my team plays, and if that team that you were cheering for was the Cowboys,
I knew this.
That's how short it would be.
I might just leave now because he's kind of attacking my personal character, but I've got the why in mind and I'm gonna keep pushing on here.